Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the weekly project status meeting. It is June 1st, and we are excited to have you here for a great set of updates coming from across the breadth of the Mozilla Project. We open this week with our calendar of events. This Wednesday, June 3rd, Brew Web Club is happening. Website Club, a growing wide network of online week meetups for anyone who wants to track their web experience from social media silos and own their online identities, content, and interactions. We have Homebrew Website Club happening in London and in the US on the West Coast. See the wiki agenda for links with more information. I believe that is it for events for the week, as is normal for this agenda. If you are watching online, you can scroll down and find a list of upcoming events that are happening more than a week out. These are events that are some are postponed, some have been canceled, and some have been rescheduled. The DevRel team will keep us up to date on these events. It also includes a list of Mozilla-sponsored developer events around the globe, and you can reach out to the DevRel team at a link in the wiki agenda for information on free tickets. With that, we move on to our speakers section of the agenda, and we open this week with Megan Branson with a Common Voice project update. Megan?
Thanks, Asa. Hello, everyone. Yes, thanks for sharing the written updates there. There are a lot of links in this doc for you all if you'd like to click in and check those out. And I'm Megan Branson. I'm remote in Portland, Oregon. I'm the Common Voice product and design lead for the Open Innovation team. And I wanted to give a quick couple-minute update on what Common Voice has been up to this year. As a quick reminder, Common Voice is a crowdsourcing platform. We're building an open source multi-language data set of voices that anyone can use to train speech-enabled applications. And this past week, Common Voice achieved a new milestone with 5,000 validated voice hours being contributed. As of today, we're collecting voice donations across 54 languages. And 2020, some of the biggest updates, the three that I want to touch on today, are what we are accomplishing as we round out each one. So we have in the first quarter, moved over to Kubernetes. Our Common Voice engineers, Jenny Zhang and Riley Shaw, undertook substantial improvements to the infrastructure for the Common Voice platform. And with the help of Alberto DeBarrio and the IT SRE group, our engineers successfully migrated the Common Voice deployment infra to Kubernetes in mid-April. This has already resulted in immediate site stability and performance improvements. At the end of Q1, we were also able to overcome a long-standing platform limitation that was not allowing contribution of voice recordings on iOS devices. And with the media recorder standard web API actually still not supported in various Safari browsers, Riley Shaw implemented a lightweight polyfill that enabled recording on Safari, on mobile Safari. So this has also allowed us to decommission the iOS Common Voice app, which was distracting contribution from the actual supported web type platform. We're now redirecting all visitors, contributors, and developers who are interested in the Common Voice iOS app to our mobile site. And that's enabling the team to focus on development efforts on the web platform itself. The most recent and final update I'll send to you all is that we're actually collecting a target data set segment for single words. So we launched this on May 20th. And we have released the capability to collect voice data for specific purpose and use cases. We're putting this ability to the test with data collection for a single word target segment. So for example, this would enable spoken digit recognition, yes and no detection, and data for Hey Firefox wake word testing. This targeted data collection will immediately benefit two collaborations, the first being with Mozilla fellow Josh Meyer, who's working to benchmark the accuracy of Mozilla's open source voice recognition engine, DeepSpeech, in multiple languages for a similar task, like spoken digit recognition. Our colleagues in ET, Emerging Technologies, are also testing and training wake word options for Firefox Voice. They reached out, curious if Common Voice communities could help generate voice data for Hey Firefox in multiple languages. Our first week of collection, last week, proves that the answer to that is yes. In the first 7 days, we saw over 5,700 unique speakers contributing over 81,000 clips in 13 languages. We've also seen a couple of language requests come in so that we can forward this on to more than those first 13. The overall traffic to the site saw about a 10x growth compared to a typical week, and the rate of overall contribution increased by about 3 times. As of today, which is our 13th day of collection, we're at 8,400 unique speakers contributing over 136,000 clips. Thanks so much to our partners in Marcoms. They launched a new tab snippet for us that helped drive traffic our way. And also a huge shout out to our Open Innovation Community Development team, who launched a community campaign that engaged the Rebel Alliance in this effort. So follow along with us on Slack at Common Voice or Voices, and go contribute your voice at voice.mozilla.org. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Megan. Exciting update. Wonderful milestone with 5,000 validated and some excitement around the Hey Firefox campaign. Next up, we have Chris Mills coming to you with the Emerging Technologies Weekly Update. Chris?
Hey, thank you, Asa. So I'm Chris from the Mdn content team, and as is quite fitting, I'm going to start with some Mdn updates. So mobile usage on Mdn is fairly low. One reason being that the experience is historically not very good. So recent usage figures put mobile usage at around 5% of all users. We therefore undertook a project recently to improve mobile performance, especially considering Google's mobile-first indexing changes of late. So our front-end team redesigned our mobile layout in a number of ways. For example, by making the nav menus and the breadcrumb trails much more compact and less intrusive, because the kind of stuff there that looks good on desktop looks terrible on mobile. This has significantly improved the user experience and performance of the mobile view, making it much cleaner and easier to use, which should increase the amount of mobile engagement. So try checking out Mdn on mobile today and see what you think. Content-wise, a couple of weeks ago in this meeting, we mentioned the Understanding Client-Side JavaScript Frameworks learning module, released as a draft at that point. It's now complete and online, so this is part of our learning area. It aims to provide a neutral view of frameworks for people that know a bit of vanilla JS and are just stepping up to start learning frameworks. So, you know, it doesn't say things like, this is everything you need to know about React, but it more kind of says, well, what on earth is a framework? Why would you even need to use one? What kind of problems the frameworks solve for you? And these kind of things, these burning questions you might have as a aspiring web developer. And then I also wanted to mention that the web forms learning module now has a full set of assessments for people attempting to learn how to use forms efficiently on the web. Next, I'd like to move on to talking about compilers. The DevRel folks have teamed up with Yulia Startsev from Mozilla's JavaScript team, kicking off a 3-part guided tour of Firefox's SpiderMonkey.js engine. Each episode will be broadcast live on Twitch and recorded for later replay. The next session will be available on Friday, June the 5th at 9 a.m. Pacific. An absolute must for anybody who wants to learn about SpiderMonkey hacking and writing better JavaScript. Finally, then, for my broadcast, got some news about Indie Web Summit and the fact that it's now become Indie WebCamp West. So over the last few years, Mozilla has helped host Indie Web Summit, which is a global gathering of indie web contributors and creators. We plan to do so again in our Portland office this coming June. However, then all this happened. So instead, Indie Web Summit is becoming Indie WebCamp West Coast, the first 100% online indie webcamp. This event is now scheduled for June 27th to 28th, 2020, the same dates as the in-person event was scheduled for, based on Pacific time zone. All of the details, including how to RSVP, participate remotely, and suggest session topics, are on the Indie website. And that's all for me. Back to you, Asa.
Thank you, Chris, for that exciting update. I am looking forward to the mobile enhanced version of Mdn. Next up, we have Jared Wine coming to us with the weekly Firefox update. Jared, take it away.
Thanks, Asa. Firefox 76.0.1 is our latest stable release. Firefox 77 is in the beta channel and ready for release tomorrow, June 2nd. Firefox 78 was in the nightly channel, and these updates made it into nightly before today's merge to beta. Because we weren't here last week, this update covers 2 weeks worth of changes, about 840 fixes. Support for the web performance feature link rel equals preload and the link rel equals preload response header for preloading page sub-resources in advance and with higher priority has been enabled on nightly. The DevTools accessibility panel is now enabled by default. The Firefox uninstaller now has an option to refresh Firefox. Searching the address bar for open tabs with the % symbol now also returns synced remote open tabs. A bug that was causing the context menu to open in the wrong monitor on macOS Catalina has been fixed. WebRender has shipped to more Windows Intel systems with larger screens. Firefox now restores multiple tab closings using undo close tab after a multiple tab operation. Users now have a preference and about preferences to disable top sites on focus. The library window now supports dark mode. And finally, Firefox can now be set as the default PDF handler on Windows. Thank you to all of those who made updates for Firefox and keep making Firefox awesome. Back to you, Asa.
Thank you, Jared. Again, some exciting updates there in the land of Firefox. I've done a quick reload to see if any other speakers came on the agenda. It doesn't look like it. So with that, we move to our closing section where we say hello to some new Mozillians. And we've got Rachel here this week to introduce a couple of them.
Thanks, Asa. Hey, everyone. I'm Rachel. I'm an engineering manager with the services team. And today I'd like to introduce 2 summer Mozillians. We have first Mark Drobnak, who is joining us working remotely in Ohio. Mark is going to be working on supporting and improving the infrastructure that powers push. We also have Amrita Kumari, who is joining us for the summer through the Outreachy program. She is based out of India, and she will be working on improving one of the services that powers sync within Firefox. So please join me in welcoming them for the summer, and you can find them and the rest of the relevant teams in the services engineering channels on Slack and Matrix.
Thank you, Rachel. A big warm welcome, virtual applause. I'll get myself an applause button here that can bring some of that wonderful noise in eventually. But again, welcome to Mark and Amrita. I hope you have an exciting and impactful summer. With that, we are all wrapped up for the week. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. Until then, stay safe and keep on rocking the free web.